This relates to a cross-border issue, so the international media will also be interested. So I've suggested that the international media be invited and we will talk to them this afternoon. What we will say to them will be exactly the same as what we are saying to you. But of course, there are questions either here or there that might lead to additional things. So if any of you wanted to come in the afternoon again, you're welcome. You're not precluded from coming. Okay. Now, the point is here, we wanted to talk about an extradition matter. The 19th of December last year, 2024, Singapore received a request from Indonesia to arrest one Paulus. His Chinese name is Chin Tiam Po. Thanos is wanted by Indonesia for his involvement in an alleged corruption matter. They call it the eKTP project. So Singapore took the request from Indonesia very seriously. This is the first case under the extradition treaty between Singapore and Indonesia. Some of you may be aware that the treaty entered into force in March 2024. Yeah? So March 2024, the first request came last year in December, 19th of December. Our agencies are required to assess whether the request comes within the framework of the extradition treaty. So CPIB was asked to do that together with Attorney General's chambers, and they did the assessment, took the view that the request did fall within the treaty. So on 17th of January 2025, this year, so roughly within a month of the request, CPIB applied to our courts for a warrant of arrest to be issued. The courts issued the warrant on the same day, and Thanos was arrested on the same day as well. So everything took place on the 17th of January. CPIB applied to the courts for the arrest order to be issued on the 17th of January. The court issued the order on the 17th of January, and Thanos was arrested on the 17th of January. Under the extradition order, there are a set of procedures. The first step after the arrest order is issued is for me to be notified as Minister for Law to see whether there is any reason for cancelling the order. I looked at it based on AGC's advice. I said, no, we are not cancelling. So Thanos, having been arrested, has been in remand without bail. So he is under arrest and he is in remand, no bail. He has produced a diplomatic passport issued by Guinea-Bissau. His counsel has brought that passport to the attention of the court. Singapore government, as advised by Attorney General's chambers, and you see the Deputy Attorney General Lionel here, considers that even though he has produced this diplomatic passport, it does not affect the position and he has no diplomatic immunity that will preclude the arrest or the extradition. That's the government's position. Thanos' counsel, of course, are entitled to take it up in court, and they have said they will follow up, but so far they have not done so. Now these are the preliminary procedures. Next comes the formal extradition request. That has got to come with a whole, proper evidence. On the 24th of February, about 2 weeks ago, we received Indonesia's formal request for extradition, and together with all the documents. AGC are currently reviewing the request and all the documents together with other agencies, particularly CPIB. Once all the requirements for extradition are met, then the process will go back to court and it will restart there for formal extradition order. Now, if Thanos, how long would this take? If Thanos doesn't contest his extradition, he can be extradited in 6 months, maybe even less. But he has told the court that he will not consent to the extradition and that he will in fact be contesting the extradition. So the process obviously will take longer. Both sides will have to put their submissions in. They will have to take a suitable date. Court will have to find a date to hear the submissions, and then the court will take some time to make its order. Thanos has a team of lawyers. He is also entitled to apply for bail. He will also, of course, ask for time to prepare his case. And if the court does order the extradition, he is entitled to appeal. So you can look at other countries, how long it takes if a party contests extradition orders. Hearings can vary from case to case. A full legal process, if it's contested at every step of the way and it's complicated, can even take 2 years. It all depends on the documents that we get, how clear they are from Indonesia, and what sort of arguments Thanos puts up, and how the court approaches it. But from government of Singapore's perspective, we will do everything we can to expedite, but matter is in the courts. And this is not like, we can just put him on a plane and send him back. There are formal processes. When someone comes into Singapore without, say, on false pretext or on a false passport, those matters can be dealt with differently because their entry into Singapore was on the basis of a certain set of representation, certain document. If that's not valid, we can cancel his stay and ask him to go back to the country of origin because he shouldn't have come in the first place. But here it's different. He's got to go through the formal process because he's got a valid passport, he's validly in Singapore, and he's accused of something. We need to take it through and get an order. But AGC is working very much on this. We take this very seriously, and AGC will try and expedite the whole process. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We will now move on to the Q&A segment. To our media friends, if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand and my colleague will come to you with a microphone. Do introduce yourself, provide your name as well as your media organization. We can have the first question now.
You don't have to ask a question. The statement is comprehensive. It's clear. There is a formal timeline for your use. We will give you hard copies of it too. Yeah.
Hi, I'm David from the Straits Times. I want to ask, how long has Thanos been in Singapore and why was he even let in the first place?
I have no background. I mean, I don't know how long he's been here. But absent any particular criminality within Singapore, our knowledge that he is undesirable, if he's got a valid passport, we generally don't prevent people from coming into Singapore.
Hi, Fabian from CNA Digital. Yeah, my question is, how has the point that it could take months or if not years been communicated to your Indonesian counterparts?
And that's within AGC to discuss with their counterparts there. Okay. They're working closely, and it's, we need to get the proper documentation in place to expedite. And AGC is in constant communication with the Indonesian counterparts.
So in this communications interactions,
no, but don't focus so much on it could take years. I'm just saying it all. We are in no position to assess. It depends on what Mr. Thanos and his lawyers say. It depends on what the courts want. It depends on when dates are available. But you need to be careful about, projecting this.
Yeah, but what has the Indonesian response and perspective been?
No, I think so far we've been focusing on making the applications in court.
Okay, Thank you.
And they understand the process.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? Yes, David. You changed your hairstyle since I last saw you.
Not much.
A week ago. Okay.
So there's been a lot of reports, especially from the Indonesia side, media reports, and there's a lot of allegations going around, whether Singapore's playing ball or Indonesia is having some trouble. How will you respond to all these allegations?
I think, we set out the facts, and I think the timeline sets out the facts. Timeline is 19 December, provisional arrest request. 17 January, our agencies moved, arrested him. He is in remand. After that, it's for Indonesia to give us the documents. We have worked with them to tell them what documents we will need. We worked closely, 24th of February. That's 2 weeks ago. And we are assessing, and we will go to court. So I think it's good to put these facts out. Yeah. Okay.
One more.
Yes.
Sorry. There was also mention about him having some sort of medical condition. Are you able to shed more light on that?
I am not aware.
Okay.
These are matters that he will have to put out in court. But I want to be careful about how much we say about what might happen in court. But, if you think aloud, the question is, there's no reason why medical condition should prevent a person from being moved to another country unless you are saying there are no proper medical facilities there. But these are matters the courts will have to look at.
So what happens if, let's say, he dies in the midst of the whole
I don't
process?
want to go into hypotheticals. Thank you.
Hi, Aslam from CNA. Can I check if there's any communication from Singapore's side with Guinea-Bissau?
We consider, as I said, the passport does not give him any diplomatic immunity. Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't require us to communicate with Guinea-Bissau. Yes.
Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm from Mothership. Do you have any comments on what's it like working with the Indonesian government on this, especially since this is the first case?
Yeah. You want to explain? Yeah.
Well, our experience so far is that we are working well with our Indonesian counterparts, and we have done so for a couple of years, not just in the context of this case and extradition, but also in the case of mutual legal assistance, which we also work closely with them on.